Welcome to the Fit Mama podcast, where it's all about gaining your health back as a busy woman and mom, and doing it without sacrificing time with your family or business. Here is your host, mompreneur and Fit Mama health coach, Angela Campbell.
Hey, what is going on, you guys? I'm excited about today's podcast to talk about stress, because stress can be such a burden for our health, for our lives, can hold us back from so many things. And so I want to talk about that today in our podcast episode number 23. I cannot believe I just said that number. That's crazy. All right, so we are live in the group, so I'm going to get rolling. So if you are able to hop on live, like you're watching this right now, because we are live streaming our Fit Mompreneur group, definitely say hi and let me know that you're here. Yay, you made it. I love it. If you have questions too while I'm talking, definitely feel free always to ask them below. Yay, I'm so glad you're here, Samantha. I was running a little bit late, so maybe that worked in everybody's favor, right? So let's get down to it. Today's episode is all about stress, and I want to talk about how stress affects your health. There's a lot of ways that it affects our health, but at the same time, there's a lot of different sources of stress. And I want to open your mind a little bit on today's podcast about more things than stress. I know a lot of people right now are stressing about financial, right? Like the holidays are coming around, then you got COVID, and then you got all the things going on in the country. That alone is a stress, right? But then you may have relationships issues going on, or you may have, someone that is ill in your family that you're a caretaker for, or maybe you've become ill. I know a lot of people who are dealing with different things in that department as well too. So we're going to talk about it though, because there's more things than just that can affect your body when it comes to stress, right? So we're going to talk about the different kinds of stress, some that you may not necessarily think about. We're going to talk about the effects they can actually have on your health as well as your weight loss. So if you're in this group right now, or you're listening to this later on the podcast once it's uploaded, if you're on a weight loss journey and you're doing everything in the world, you're eating clean, you're working out super hard, you're doing all these things, and nothing is happening, it could very likely be due to stress, right? But we're going to talk about that. And I'm also going to share some tips to help you manage your stress, you guys, because listen, if you're listening to me right now and you're feeling stressed, know that one, you're not alone. And I think that's very powerful for you to understand that you're not alone, right? On any of the journey, right? But being stressed as well too. Like everybody's got stress. It looks a little bit different, of course, for everyone, but it's how we respond to it and how we manage it that's going to make all the difference in the world, in your life, in your relationships, in your success, in your overall health, in your weight loss journey, right? Obviously, if you follow me whatsoever, I love helping women find themselves again, love themselves, put themselves on the priority list, whether that's weight loss to them, or maybe it's just overall health, mind health, you name it, right? But there is a link above if you're listening, or you can go to my website, acfitmama.com/chat. If you're on the struggling, lost, have no idea where to go, and you're at that point where you're like, I just need somebody to help me do this, schedule a call. I would love to hop on a call with you for sure, and see what we can do to help you, right? So again, we're going to talk about all things stress today. But before we get started, I always love to give shout outs, because I think they're very, very important. And I feel like some women need some shout outs today, right? And so I want to say first a huge warm welcome. And I think you're on Star. If you're listening, I want to say a big welcome to you, because next week is going to be a big game changer for you as we're getting started in your program. So if you're listening, definitely welcome to you, Star, but also drop a welcome in the comments, you guys. If you're listening, help her feel a big, big warm welcome. And then I also want to give a couple more shout outs. I want to give a shout out to two women that this week that have just jumped back on the bandwagon of consistency, right? Like if you can relate, you've fallen off a little bit because life hits you, or all the things that have been thrown at your face all the time, right? And you fall off. I love giving shout outs for just jumping back on the bandwagon, because to me, that's extremely important. We all fall off, but just don't stay off for very long, right? And getting back on the bandwagon. Melissa Aaron and Jennifer Murray need some love on that right now this week, like crushing it. By getting back on track and sharing, staying in contact with me every day, and letting me know what you have going on, right? And then I also want to give a big shout out to two women. Amanda Darter, you deserve a massive shout out and give her some love because she's working super, super hard on her journey. She's now down officially 5 pounds and is just crushing it. Again, another perfect example of consistency with all things. And just like anybody, we've got a lot of battles, a lot of things we're going through. And Echo Hill, if you're in this group and you know Echo, just drop her some love, tag her in the comments because one, she's amazing. She's always pouring into everybody else. If you follow her at all, if you don't, you should. She's amazing, very inspiring woman. And she's got abs. She's been working with us for a while now. And she said for the first time in 37 years of her life, she has abs. So that's pretty awesome to hear. So give her some love too. And so here we go, you guys. Let's get into stress. And yes, thank you, Samantha, for telling them good job. They definitely deserve it because they're working hard. So let's talk about stress and some tips, right? So if you're currently stressed, which is almost everybody, right? But again, so many different levels, put stress in the comments. Just write the word stress if you're able, unless you're just listening because you're driving or doing something else, right? But if you are able to comment, definitely write stress in the comments because this is something that we all deal with. And it's also something that I like to talk about a lot with the women in my group. If you're in this group, obviously, you're listening to this, or even the women that go through my program. Stress is a very big part of our journey if you want to get healthy, right? But I want to talk about the fact that too much stress or not learning or not being consistent or not being consistent at learning different tiny ways to manage your stress, it can be a really chronic and huge burden to your body if you let it go for too long, right? And this stress can come in different forms, right? A lot of stress can come from outside sources, like stressing over money. Like, how am I going to pay my bills? I'm living paycheck to paycheck, and I don't even know if we're going to have a job tomorrow. That is a lot of people right now, and it's really sad. And I pray for every single person in that situation. But money is one of the biggest things that I feel like a lot of people stress over on a daily basis. I know for me, that's the number one thing that always, if we're tight whatsoever, and my husband's a realtor and in sales, and it's been like a big up and down roller coaster like this. And it's the number one thing that always stresses me out the most, right? And so money is a huge stressor for a lot of people, and especially in today's world, the way it is. How about relationships? Marriages, I mean, you name it. Though I know a lot of people right now struggling in their relationships, and it puts a lot of stress. Maybe it's your job. Maybe your job is really demanding. Okay, if your job is ultra demanding and it's super stressful and you have so much on your plate that you don't know that you can deal with it all, like this can be a very, very big stress on your body. Even I used to work with a lady that was her thing. It was work, and a lot of it was just a lot of pressure. She was a perfectionist. She wanted to do everything right. She wanted to get everything done on time, and she, was always about making the boss proud, which was she was an amazing employee. But she let it eat her alive on the inside because she put so much stress on it. Like, she was in her early 30s, having heart issues and a bunch of different things, and struggled big time with her weight because the stress was just killing her. Right? I physically watched her, and so job can be super stressful, you guys. We need them, of course, but we need our health even more, right? Being sick. How about being sick? I know a lot of people right now commented on my post yesterday, just themselves being sick. I know some people right now that are getting over COVID or going through COVID themselves. And it's a stressor, not only because you feel bad, you can't function the way you want, but you have job responsibilities, you have people to take care of, all these factors come into play. Like, how inconvenient is it to be quarantined? Like, it's very inconvenient when that happens, right? So that can add stress. How about all the politics stuff going on in the world? I'm not going to talk about that part, but it is a stress. Here's two things that I wanted to mention too, a type of stress that a lot of people don't realize. They don't really even think about. But how about yo-yo dieting? Put yo-yo in the comments, just like yo-yo. I wanted you to put yo-yo in the comments if you've ever done this, because so many people have, you guys. And this is where I'm on the biggest mission. I feel like God's put me on this earth to try my best to scream at the top of the rooftops, to share with as many people as I can that yo-yo dieting, it's hard on your body more than you know. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people, and if this is you, put me in the comments. Like, I've heard a lot of people like, man, I have lost and gained the same 20 pounds over and over and over and over and over. And if this is you and you can relate, just know that is a stress on your body. So the biggest and best thing that you can do is stop the yo-yo dieting. It's hard. Our world and our society is full of all the yo-yo diets and the quick fixes and all the things. But just the way I love to teach the women in my programs is we go back down to basics and we go crazy, simple, baby steps, and we don't restrict. Okay. And when you go to those restricting yo-yo dieting programs that lose weight fast, it is so much stress on your body because you can probably relate if you're listening and you've done these things, right? So you lose a lot of weight and then you gain it back, and then you lose a lot of weight and then you gain it back, and then you lose a lot of weight. That's a lot of stress. Every time that you regain it, it gets harder and harder and harder to lose because of the stress that you're putting on your body doing that, right? So I know it's very tempting. I know I'm not a patient person either, so I know a lot of times if I see something, I've never been that way in my own health journey, but I have on many, many, many other things. And it's easy like, man, I want that now because I wish I had that result yesterday. And just know it takes time. It's a process. It is a process, and sometimes it can be, challenging to be patient and let time be on your side, even though it takes longer than you want. The yo-yo dieting can be a big stress on your body, right? So maybe all of these things are compiling on you, and imagine what your body is like. Stop it. I'm ready to get healthy, but I need to take the time to make it happen. Right. And here's another stress that I talk about a lot with the women one-on-one that I work with is sometimes your workouts are too hard. What does that mean? I have a lot of people that want to go beast mode, hardcore crazy all the time. And that used to be me. I'm not going to lie. I'll be 40 next year though. And I've learned that the beast mode, hardcore crazy isn't always the way to go. Okay. So if you're someone who has the mentality that I need to be like super ultra sore, I need to be like winded, like I'm dying and I'm sweating profusely to feel like you got a good workout, I want to tell you that very likely, especially if you're a woman, because often hormones come into play. Sometimes we have thyroid issues. Sometimes we have, Hashimoto's, like a lot of different things. The higher intense workouts can sometimes be a lot harder on your body than necessary. Right. And so you don't necessarily need to go hardcore crazy all the time. You guys get a good mixture. Go hardcore, go low intense, right? So sometimes that can actually be a stressor on your body that's going to keep you from actually losing weight. So I hear this a lot, like, oh man, I'm working out super crazy hard and I'm even dieting, but I'm not seeing any results. It can be the stress, you guys. And that's really the message that I want to get across for this today. No, Samantha, yeah, I'll be 40 next year, June 9th. I'm working. I've got some serious goals right now until to reach before I hit that number. So yeah, I'll be 40. But anyway, too much stress, you guys. If it's prolonged for a long period of time, all these things can cause chronic fatigue. If you feel like you're always tired and you're eating pretty good, you're working out, you're doing simple things, but no matter what you do in the world, you're still always tired. It's called chronic fatigue. A lot of times it's from your stress. You may be feeling run down. A lot of times your immune system gets really run down too whenever you're stressed to the max. There's a lot of performance. Like, so if you find yourself like in a mental fog all the time, right? Or you just can't perform no matter what it is. I'm just exhausted. I'm tired. And I'm going to go over a bunch of symptoms in a second. If you're noticing a lot of these things, it is time to start managing your stress. Sometimes we're focused so much on, I got to eat to lose weight. I got to work out to lose weight. Well, how about reducing your stress to lose weight, right? You've got to learn to manage it. And if you're not able to get a workout in that day, at minimum, do something to manage your stress. And I promise you will feel so much better. And you might even start seeing the results whether you worked out or not. Okay. And so, I know everybody's heard the word cortisol more than likely. And if you haven't, here it is. Cortisol is a hormone in our body, and it's one that we need in our body, right? But whenever stress levels are super high, then you get way elevated levels of that cortisol. And a lot of times that can be one of the biggest causes for weight gain, especially in your belly. If you are one that has that losing your belly, so to speak, your mama pooch or whatever you want to call it, we all have different names for it, is something that you struggle with, put belly in the comments. There's so many women. We're live streamed inside the group, so this is a safe place. But there's why I did an exclusive training in here in belly fat, because it's like the number one area that most women want to work with. And sometimes it can be the stress that's causing you to gain it right there. And it also, the high levels of stress definitely can help you gain visceral fat. Okay, so visceral fat, belly fat, very similar, but visceral fat surrounds your organs. And that's where you start having issues like your heart disease, and all kinds of issues going on with kidneys, liver. I mean, you name it, right? A lot of different things can happen inside your body. But here's some symptoms I want to talk about. And then I'm going to go over some tips with you, right? So symptoms, if you are super highly stressed and it is affecting your health at an unhealthy level, you may have a hard time sleeping. Like falling asleep at night is really hard for you because your mind is constantly racing. That could very likely be because of the stress that you're under and all the things going on, right? I know when I've got something on my plate or something is just driving me crazy, or maybe, in many parts of our journey, my husband and I, we've been together 10 years now. 10 years, 2 kids, a couple job changes. I've been an entrepreneur since I've been a mom, became a mom. And, the journey is like this. It's up and down, and it's an emotional roller coaster. There's been plenty of times where like money's tight, we're super stressed, all the things going on, and many times I can't fall asleep. And if you can relate, that could be definitely the stress keeping you awake. And then again, feeling lethargic all day, no matter what you do, no matter what you eat. I know I'm eating often, but I'm still always tired no matter what I do. Can be stress. How about mood swings? Anybody listening to this having mood swing, or just simply you're maybe more emotional than normal? Again, it's not always, oh, I'm on my period, I'm a hormonal woman, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of times that can be part of it too at a certain time of the month, but not all the time, right? If you find yourself very moody, it can be stress. And of course, I already talked about this a little bit, but increased blood sugar levels a lot of times, again, comes to the stress and the release of too much cortisol in your body, which leads to storing body fat no matter what you do. How about low testosterone is another one. I know this one sounds crazy. Some women are like, what? Yes, believe it or not, we have testosterone in our body. We need testosterone in our body. But some women I know like had to actually, get some hormone therapy because their testosterone was way too low. And sometimes that can be stress as well too. Like there was a point in my journey about a year and a half ago, like honestly, I feel like God put me through a certain part of my life about a year and a half ago. Whenever I got to that point, like I literally went to the doctor. I was like, can you please check my testosterone, check everything? Like something is not right in my world. I'm not functioning right. I'm a moody woman. My poor husband, bless his heart. I'm not the happiest mom ever. I'm mentally in a fog every single day. I'm just falling apart. I'm mushy everywhere. I just could not stand even what my body was like. I mean, so many things were going on. It was a couple things. It was stress to the max, but it was because of the things that I was doing in my life and my journey and my careers that I got away from now because they weren't I was serving a purpose in impacting people, but it was killing me on the inside, right? But even more so, I wasn't resting. I wasn't taking care of myself, all the things that can be stressed. Because again, one of the things I didn't mention is not getting enough rest. Not getting enough rest can also be a stress factor on your body that can cause all these health issues, you guys. Is it hard to get enough rest? Yes. Is it necessary? Absolutely. And I'm going to share some tips on that, right? Already talked about immune system. If you feel like yourself getting sick all the time, sometimes it can be your food. You're not eating enough food. You're not fueling your body enough for you to build that immune system up. Yes, take vitamins. Yes, you got to have nutrients of your food though as well too, play a big role. And again, those habits of reducing stress, you guys. And then one of the other ones that I love to talk about too is inflammation in your body overall, but also your gut. I love to talk about the gut the most because it's obviously tied to weight loss, right? So if you're that woman that's like, I'm working out like crazy, I'm working out 6 days a week, I'm always, doing something, I'm super active, right? And then I'm eating, I'm doing well on my nutrition, I feel like I'm on point, all the things, but there's no change whatsoever. Again, you might have some serious inflammation going on in your gut that comes from all the stress going on, that is going to keep that weight from coming off. Okay, so reducing your stress. And there's also one of the announcements I was going to share, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But next week, we've got a couple big things coming up in this group. Not only is our fitness workout challenge for 12 days, I'm going to be posting mini workouts in here every day for the next 12 days, starting on Monday. Get your friends in here. It's going to be fun. We're going to have fun. And we're going to stay active throughout the holidays. and we are going to do giveaways every single day. But even more so, we're also going to launch our Detox Jumpstart program. I have a Detox Jumpstart program that we're going to run, and it's going to start. It's an 11-day plan and some serious coaching, some very, very hands-on coaching wrapped around stress, reducing inflammation in your gut, how to eat right, and a lot of mindset work with you as well too. That's launching, and the signups will actually start on Monday. Detox, put Detox in the comments if you want the information on that. If you're in any of my current programs, you actually get free access to that, just FYI, if any of you guys are watching. So that's going to be exciting for you. And then, okay, so tips. Let's talk about tips. Any questions, drop them in the comments. I will definitely address them for sure. So let's talk about tips. How do we reduce our stress? If you already do something that you know on a habit on a regular basis, drop it in the comments and let us know what it is. So some of the things I'm going to share with you, you may already be doing, which is amazing. Keep doing them, right? And some of them might be something that you don't think about that you can totally start to incorporate today. Start incorporating them today, right? One of the best things you can do for your body when you're stressed is eat small meals often. Okay. So this is something that's not just about losing weight, right? So if I'm working with you at all in any of our programs, or you need help, again, there's a link above, schedule a call with me, and I'll totally get on a chat with you and talk options with you. But here's the thing is you want to eat small meals often. Okay. The worst thing you can do is go all day without eating. Guys, your body needs fuel. And when you're already an active person, whatever it is that you're doing, chasing kids, working, running a business, just life, you're living life, you're busy. Okay. And I don't know anybody that's not busy anymore. It seems like the norm of the society today. But you have got to eat small meals a little bit more often is even better for your body, because you're busy and then you're super stressed. Your body is depleted of the nutrients and the food that it needs. So the last thing you want to do is not eat often. You don't want to fast. Whenever you're ultra stressed, fasting isn't a good idea for you. Why? Because it can actually be super harmful on your adrenals. So my biggest thing that I can say, if you feel like you're falling into what I'm talking about today about ultra stress, start your day with a breakfast. Start your day with breakfast. Get yourself a healthy carb and a healthy protein to start your day. It's going to fuel your body. It's going to fuel your metabolism. It's also going to fuel your mind. If you are running around on empty, you cannot function for anything in life or show up as the best version of ourselves that we want to show up as. But you also are going to you're going to put even more stress on your body because your body's in starving mode. Like, hello, feed me, feed me, feed me. It's also how it helps deal with stress. So you have to feed your body. Okay. If you're on a weight loss journey, feed your body, eat a breakfast. Okay. This is one of the things, if you're in my programs, I'm going to really work with you on and make sure if you're someone who doesn't naturally eat breakfast, put breakfast in the comments. If you're going to start eating breakfast, or if you're someone that does it already, it doesn't matter. Just put breakfast in the comments. I want you to start your day with it. Okay. Because if you fast, there's intermittent fasting. There's so many things out there nowadays, right? And I'm a believer of intermittent fasting. It just depends on the person. Depends on the person. It depends on your life situation, and you got to do it right. Okay. There's ways to do that right and actually have amazing results. And there's ways to screw it up and do it way wrong and actually go backwards. Okay. So, but if you're ultra stressed right now, if you're stressed to the max, the worst thing you can do is fast. Don't fast. You'll end up hurting your adrenal glands. Okay. And I've seen women go through an adrenal fatigue and all kinds of things going on that it was really hard for them to come out of. You don't want to put yourself there. Third tip is eat carbs. How many of you, what is your favorite carb source? Let's do that. What is your favorite carb source? Put it in the comments. Healthy carb, if you prefer. What I mean by that, again, is your body needs energy, you guys. Your body needs an energy source, and I'm a big believer in carbs. I'm not a believer in cutting out your carbs. Why? Because I don't feel like it's realistic for a long-term lifestyle change. If you want to truly, whether you lose weight or function better, feel better, be able to manage your stress, you need fuel. You need fuel, so eat some carbs. I love it. I love it. Start oatmeal. Oatmeal is one of my favorites too. My day always starts with oatmeal. I like to put a little bit of blueberry, a little bit of raspberries in there, stir it up, and some sort of protein, whether it be a shake, whether it be eggs. Sometimes, like I did this morning, I actually put my protein powder in my oatmeal. You just have to put extra water. I put it in my Facebook stories if you didn't see it. But whatever it is, sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. Yeah, so eat carbs. You need an energy source to survive everything that you're going through. Not much less you. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with women that go way too low carb, and I increase their carbs. We increase their carbs, and now the weight starts to fall off. There's a reason for that, right? And so don't starve your body of carbs, especially if you're stressed. Okay, here's the next one. Don't go super low calorie. Again, you need an abundance of food and fuel and calories to actually survive life, function better, feel better. You don't want to be the monster mom all the time, right? You don't want to be the irritable wife all the time, right? You don't want to be that boss. I used to have a boss that was so uptight and just negative Nancy. Nobody wanted to be around her. She would bark at you, yell at you, even cuss at you. Like, it was really sad because I know it was internal for her, which not a happy person, wasn't a healthy person, and lash out at everybody. Nobody wants to be that person. Okay. And so don't go super low calorie. You guys, if you're trying to lose weight, you need to eat food. Many conversations I have with women is you got to eat more food if you want to lose weight. You cannot live on a 500 calorie diet. You cannot live even on 1,000 calorie diet. You need to go more than that. No matter who you are, everybody's gonna be different on what number is the magic number for them. But you need to not go on a ultra low calorie diet. It's not healthy for your body, and it's not healthy for long term, right? Exercise regularly. Here's another one, you guys. And this is a given, but one of the best stress relievers you can do is exercise regularly. And like I talked about earlier, working out too hard can put extra stress on your body. When I mean exercise regularly, if stress is a really big factor for you right now, low intense is going to be your best friend. Low intense, go for walks. Go for walks, get outside in the sun. I know right here now in Texas, the last couple of days, like I was outside in a tank top yesterday running around with my kids in the afternoon because it was warm. I don't know what it looks like. I mean, the sun's out right now. I haven't been outside this morning. My husband took the kids. So get out in the sun if you can. Go for a walk. Some of your best level or intensity of exercise when you're ultra stressed is not to go hardcore beast mode crazy. Okay, and low intense, like literally going for walks. Some of the best stress reducers you can do is at the end of the day, go for a nice walk. Do it by yourself if you can. If not, take the kids, take the dog. But if you can go by yourself and just zone out, have some quiet time for yourself, end your day that way, you're going to reduce the stress of the day. Okay, so low to moderate exercise is very powerful for you when you're ultra stressed. Like I said, get some sun, reduce your caffeine and your sugar. Okay, and I'm not against caffeine. I drink a cup of coffee every day. I just do one though. And back in the day, back a year and a half ago when I was in my worst shape of my life mentally and physically on the inside, I was living on coffee. I was living on it all day long. And the sad thing is I was still tired all the time, exhausted, tired, moody, you name it. That was me. But when you're super stressed, again, don't run to caffeine for everything. It's not always the best fix. Run to water instead. Okay. Water and hydrating will actually be a really positive thing for your body, for your organs, for your energy, for your mind, for all the things. So reduce your caffeine. I'm not saying cut it out totally, but do reduce it. Don't live on coffee like I did. And sugar, reduce your sugar. Don't go over the top with sugar because again, that weight gain and belly fat is going to just keep piling on, right? And then a couple other tips, and then that's it. But get sleep. This was the one I didn't do. This is the one I didn't do. I used to go to bed at 10:30, 11 o'clock. It was nothing for me to get in bed late. My alarm clock goes off at 3:30 every morning. It doesn't now. Now it's 5 o'clock, which is sleeping in. For me, it used to be 3:30 for 5 years. I taught early morning boot camps, and it was amazing, and I love it, and I miss the people like crazy, but it killed me on the inside because I was not getting enough sleep for years, y'all. That's not healthy if that is you right now. Get some good sleep. You have to set boundaries and shut your phone down. You have to set boundaries. And if your kids were like mine over the years, like I've been an entrepreneur. My kids didn't really have structured bedtime. That was the worst thing I could do for myself. But it was just, we were living the life. They had a lot of freedom. Now my little girl goes to kindergarten. So we have set bedtimes, and now mommy gets in bed early, and then I sleep a little bit later. You got to get sleep if you want to function better, right? Get sleep. And one of my favorite habits is starting a morning routine of some kind. Maybe that's 10 minutes in the morning of just quiet time drinking your coffee. I don't know how, I can't tell you how many women did do that, or they do it when we do a challenge in the group. We've done a challenge in the group wrapped around that, then they don't follow it afterwards. I highly suggest you follow that. Maybe it's 5 minutes of quiet time in the morning. Maybe you're like me and a big believer in my faith. I love to spend my morning with personal development. I do a workout and then I do a prayer. Those are my every single day morning things. Except for Sunday. I don't set an alarm. I stay in bed until my kids come climb in with me. It's the only day I do that. And you deserve a day like that, y'all. Y'all deserve a day like that, right? But get some sleep. So you have to set boundaries. If you find yourself in bed still scrolling social media, like, you have to learn to turn your phone off, plug it in at a decent hour, go to bed, turn off electronics, and get yourself a good night's sleep, or you're not going to be the best version of you the next day. Let's be real. Right. And then, so get enough sleep, breathing habits, meditation. If you meditate, I know I just saw somebody post meditate in here. Who was that? Meditation is a very powerful tool. If you already do that, do it. Keep doing it on a daily basis. One of the best habits you can do is meditate. There it is. Samantha, you did. I love that you said that. Meditation is powerful. It's something you can also literally, another habit that I love to help women form is set 3 timers on your phone, one in the morning, one at lunchtime, and one in the evening. And when those timers goes off, stop what you're doing and take 60 seconds of just nothing but deep breaths. Close your eyes and take some really deep breaths, right? You have to do that for yourself. Again, so breathing habits are going to help. And then here's the last 3 tips I feel like kind of all go together. Have fun. Have fun. Put fun in the comments. Say have fun. You've got to have fun in life. You can't run around. And this is one that I have gotten better at. My husband used to tell me, can you just relax? You don't have to always be working. You don't always have to be cleaning the kitchen. You don't always have to be doing all this. Can you just sit down and relax? How many of you can relate to that? That's usually me, but my mom's that way too. I totally picked that up from her. I'm going to blame that on her. She's in this group. Maybe my mom will watch this. But have fun. Learn to let go. You got to learn to faith over fear. But I love that more than anything in the world. Things will always work out the way they're meant to be. And it's hard to put your mind at ease sometimes, because you're like, how in the heck am I going to pay the mortgage next month? I have no idea. How am I going to pay for my car payment this month? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? So many thoughts going through your minds, right? But you have to learn to just literally give it all to faith. I mean, I know everybody's beliefs are different. I'm never going to push my beliefs on anyone in this group, but that's one of the best things. Have fun. Have fun. Learn to let go. Put the phone up. Let the work pile up. Who cares? Let the laundry pile up. Let the dishes stay in the sink. Go outside and have fun with your kids. Go play. Go run around. Play hide and seek. Whatever it is. Maybe you don't have small kids. Whatever it is, have fun. And yes, let go and let God, Samantha. Yes, 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 yes. 100%. Listen to music. Laugh. Last night we came home, like me and the kids, waiting on Dad to get home from work, and I didn't put the TV on one time. We just blasted Christian music / Christmas. It was a little bit of both. And then we just played. We played, which is a rarity. I don't do that all the time, but we just played. And it was the best thing ever. It's good for your heart. It's good for your mommy heart. It's good for your family. It's good for yourself. Maybe that's grandkids to you, or whatever that looks like in your life. We're all different. Have fun. Like you said, let go, let God, give it all to faith. You guys, it will work out. If you don't have your health because you're allowing yourself to just stress like crazy, then what are you working so hard for? And that's been a hard concept for me to wrap my mind around, because I'm very driven, and I like to, if I hit a goal, I'm going to work extra hard to hit the next one. And that's a good quality, but at the same time, it can be bad too, because you got to learn to let go. You got to learn to give and rest. I love it. Positive affirmations. Yeah. Laundry and dishes. Let them pile up. Let them pile up. Who cares? Don't stress over them. Don't stress over the dirty house. Just have fun. You have to have fun to reduce some stress, you guys. Thank you on the shirt. We had these made last year. If you guys like them, we'll do another big order. One of my biggest and best things, I'd love to always make sure you guys remember I will never compare my journey to someone else's. Remember, this journey in life is your pace. It's your race, always. You should never compare yourself to someone else, no matter if this has to do with business, your health, or life in general. You guys don't ever compare yourself to anyone else. But that's it, you guys. I hope you all got some value from this. Hope you got some good tips. If you did, share with me in the comments what tips stood out to you, or maybe something that you learned on today's podcast. And again, if you're listening to this and the upload for the podcast later, join our group, acfitmama.com/Facebook, or set up a time just to have a one-on-one chat with me as well, acfitmama.com/chat. And we can definitely, Melina, I'll make a post. If you guys want to do a shirt run like this, what we did was you have to place an order for them. So if we have enough people that want to do it, I can place a big bulk order. We did long sleeve shirts, we did tank tops, we did t-shirts, all kinds of stuff. So again, last thing, be on the lookout next week. We're going to start our fitness workout challenge, 12 days of workouts. I'll do a separate live that's way shorter and talk about the details of that in the group, as well as our detox jumpstart program. If you want information on that, just put detox in the comments and I'll share with you. Signups are going to start Monday, so we're going to drop all the details. The actual meal plan and all the things we're going to do together starts January 4th. So that's it, you guys. I'm going to stop rambling. Y'all have a great day, and we'll chat soon.